You're as dead as a desert night. You're a notch and I'm a legend. You're at peace and I must hide. Tell me where the hell I'm going. Let my bones fall in the dust. Can you hear that ghost that's calling as my coat begins to rust? In the dust. I'm a killer. I'm a clown. I'm a priest that's gone to town.
That's right. I am a killer and I am a clown. Not a clown. I am the Chuckles the Clown. Not to be confused with that buffoon that's wearing the Doink the Clown mask down in that Southern Wrestling Federation, which I will not mention. You look like an idiot. Get over it. I am Chuckles the Clown. You are just a man wearing a drug addict, womanizing person's mask. And
Well
that's
then.
what I think about Doink. Basically, a POS.
So
Now-
not so much.
If you watched SummerSlam last night, which two of us did, it's the first time in a couple years where they had 10 bout matches. That
Yeah.
means they had 10 matches through the 4 hours, and they were actually matches. However, out of those 10 matches, half of them were screw jobs. And there
One
was
I don't even remember.
there's no decisive winners. I mean, what happened here, WWE? What the hell was this? Was this the New England Patriots of the SummerSlam? Come on, man. Half of those matches, you could have given us a winner. And why did you bring Jon Stewart from The Daily Show in to interrupt in the match? That was just flippin'
That was
stupid.
a good match,
And
too.
I lost points watching that. That's all I'm going to stop at for that. Because
All
I don't
right,
want to waste any more time with it.
Well, who's the writer now in the WWE?
I don't know. He should be shot because bringing that dude in, stupid, really, really dumb. However, if you are a comic book fan like myself, seeing the lead actor from Green Arrow, or the Arrow, get in the ring, not very gracefully, but he still held his own.
Well, first shot in front of how large was that live audience?
It
I
was
mean,
pretty big, and let me
seriously,
tell you,
the
that
had
guy,
to have nerves.
he is big. Like when you look at him on television, he looks like a small fry because the villains that he's fighting are twice his size.
Yeah.
So that makes the villains in that show equally scary because this guy is a monster. He's got tree trunk legs. I mean,
He looks like he could really hurt you in a
yeah,
bar fight.
he's definitely in better shape than Chuckles the Clown is. That's for sure.
Just for now.
These guys were in better shapes too. The Western boys, they didn't have time to sit down and watching television, although they did like an occasional whiskey, a cigar, a prostitute in the Old West, a little gambling game, and some entertainment for later on. And that's one of the things that draws me to the West and the Wild West is the ruthlessness of these characters.
I thought you were going to say toothlessness.
No. Yeah, there was plenty of those toothlessness, so Dirty Dan, you would fit in with a lot of these guys. You would smell just the same as them. However, he doesn't know how to load a pistol, so he'd be screwed in
He'd
2
be
weeks.
dead.
And I don't think he knows
Or
how to
a
play
farmhand.
cards too well either.
I don't think that man could bluff if his life depended
No,
on
so
it.
now, when you think Westerns, and I gave you some of the comics, I'll give you some of the DC comics. And, of course, my favorite, of course, is Jonah Hex. And I put that at number one. I don't care about these lists out there because they're ridiculous and stupid. All-Star
your
Westerns for New 52, really good. Lone Ranger, I can't say much more about that. It's Lone Ranger. He's a legend of his own. This one is going to shock you. Cowboys and Aliens. Now, before it was a movie that got destroyed by the public and the critics,
I like that movie.
it was a comic book.
I wish I had destroyed the DVD before I watched it.
Yeah, see, there's so many people that hate that movie.
I hate that movie.
See, I told you. It's such a hatred, but the comic series is incredible. Of course, you have Zorro. Who doesn't like Zorro? I mean, that was...
Yeah, I really don't consider
Great.
Zorro a Western hero, though.
They still put him in there. And as recently, they've been...
maybe
the newest thing is...
timeline-wise.
And this isn't DC, and neither was Zorro, but Cowboys and Dinosaurs is the new thing.
That existed?
Cowboys riding dinosaurs and
Oh, my
shooting
word,
people.
Chuckles. Are you the happiest little clown in the world?
No, I did not write that. However, I'm thinking about reading it very much so. I got to look into this because there was a couple of them. There was Cowboys and Dinosaurs, and there was one called Rex Riders.
Oh, my word. There's two of them?
Oh, no, there's three.
Oh.
And there was another Cowboys and Dinosaurs made by 44CC Comics. I definitely want to check that out.
I take it this is my
And-
job to find these so you can review them proper?
Yeah, and if you're a really big comic fan of, well, and you're big into the Westerns and you like Batman, I have to recommend The Blue, the Gray, and the Bat. I mean, it's a spin-off of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, obviously. Batman's packing heat in this. He's shooting people. Robin is a Native American, shanking people.
That
Really,
man's got a whip.
yeah, he's got a whip. Really, really cool book. You pick this up anywhere in the stores. I recommend that. You'll go through that really quickly. Now, when we come back, we're going to touch on Western movies, and there are a lot of them out there, but there aren't a lot of them to remember because, unfortunately, I'm going to say this.
Well, we'll come up with a few, though.
Yeah, I have
There's a lot
plenty
of
of them.
snoozers.
Now, I got a lot of complaints about people saying I don't play country music on the show because we get a lot of
Yeah.
listeners that are from the West, Arizona and Nevada, and they like country music. So, first time on Chuckles Crypt, right here, you have Big and Rich, Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy, and why not?
Well, I walk into the room, passing out $100 bills, and it kills and it thrills like the horns on my Silverado grill. And I buy the bar a double round of Crown, and everybody's getting down in this town. Ain't never gonna be the same. 'Cause I saddle up my horse and I ride into the city. I make a lot of noise, 'cause the girls, they are so pretty. Riding up and down Broadway on my old stud Leroy, and the girls say, save a horse, ride a cowboy. Everybody says, save a horse, ride a cowboy. Well, I don't give a dang about nothing. I'm singing and bling-blinging while the girls are drinking. Long necks down, and I wouldn't trade old Leroy or my Chevrolet for your Escalade or your freak parade. I'm the only John Wayne left in this town. When I saddle up my horse and I ride into the city, I make a lot of noise, 'cause the girls, they are so pretty. Riding up and down Broadway on my old stud Leroy, and the girls say, save a horse, ride a cowboy. Everybody says, save a horse, ride a cowboy.
cornbread, that's what she said in the back of my truck bed as I was getting buzzed on suds out on some backcountry road. We were flying high, fine as wine, having ourselves a big and rich time, and I was going just about as far as she'd let me go. But her evaluation of my cowboy reputation had me begging for salvation all night long. So I took her out gigging frogs, introduced her to my old bird dog, and sang her every Willie Nelson song I could think of, and we made love. And I saddle up my horse, and I ride him through the city. I make a lot of noise, cause the girls, they are so pretty. Riding up and down Broadway on my old stud Leroy, and the girls say, save a horse, ride a cowboy. Everybody says, save a horse, ride a cowboy. What? Save a horse, ride a cowboy. Everybody says, save a horse, ride a cowboy.
I love that song, and that's the first time a country song has been played on Chuckles Crypt here on Rhode Island FreeRadio.org. So all the folks out there that said, please, 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 there you go. Don't say evil clowns, don't give you Christmas early, because I did. And we're still talking about Westerns. I think part two, George, you're right. We're going to have to save the gunslingers because these guys need a show all of their own. I don't want to cramp them all together because some of these gunslingers even have their own comic books. And I want to save this.
Some of them have their own horror movies, too.
Yeah, they do, and we're going to get to that very shortly because we're going down Chuckles. Like I said, I don't care about these lists on internet because they suck. Whoever puts these up, I think it's the same people that criticizes the movies. It's in the same gene pool of idiocracy. So we're going to start with, I'm going to go from bottom to top. The Assassination of Jesse James. Really, really good movie. Brad Pitt plays Jesse James, and they follow it really close to the story, right down to his friend shooting him in the back. And Jesse James, if you, people, I really got to say this part, but Jesse James, when he was killed, was actually considered the first Robin Hood of America, and he was toured around from everywhere from America to London in a coffin before they buried him because they really did see him as the Robin Hood of America. Bloodthirsty killer, nevertheless. Only time he would shoot you is if you drew pistols on him. He never would shoot civilians, but if a federal guard or someone drew him, he would shoot him.
Yeah, keep in mind, too, that this was one of the first cases of a media image, shall we say, trumping the real life.
Right.
Because Jesse James was about as far from Robin Hood as, I don't know, one of those terrorists is from Robin Hood.
He did not give back to the poor.
No, he gave to himself. He gave to his pockets.
Right, and he was, and don't get me wrong, I mean, great hero for some folks out there, but he was a killer, nevertheless.
Well, yes, the jails back then were full of guys that thought he was heroic, yes. But not one, no, absolutely not.
Number 4, this is Nurse Misery, my favorite, because we found this while surfing. Jesse James meets Frankenstein's daughter.
Yes.
Now, we all sit back and say, what would happen if a Western movie mixed in with a horror movie? You would get this awesomeness that came out in 1966.
It was fabulous.
Definitely pick that up and watch that. It's an excellent movie. Number 3, 3:10 to Yuma.
That was a good one, too.
That is gory, and that depicts the Westerns the best way that I've seen it. People stabbing people in the back to get ahead. I don't know how many times that gentleman ducked the bullets and still was alive because after about the 5th or 6th time I got shot at.
I don't know. I yelled at the TV a lot in that movie.
I probably would have been hit.
Like, no, don't shoot him.
Now, number 2, a lot of folks out there are grinning because they don't like it, but I do because he's one of my favorite comic book heroes as well. Jonah Hex. I really liked that story. I wanted to see more interaction with the dead when he was resurrecting them and talking to them.
Yeah, but that would have been more for another movie.
Right, and I wanted to see a sequel, but the critics and the fans tore it apart to the point where the guy said, not going to do it. And the character that played him, can't remember the actor, did a really good job. And I guess
that was a really painful prosthetic to wear, too.
It kind of messed up his face for a little bit wearing that prosthetic, and he is complaining about that. But still, Awesome, awesome movie. I don't know what people are thinking about. Number one, and I'm going to say the remake because the original one, it was good, but the remake, The Tombstone,